Right now at 6 a.m., a weather watch alert, not just for a tiny bit of snow today, but for some serious cold. We'll break it all down coming up.
And people in East Hartford, an apartment complex, spent several days without heat. Now they can't even go into their homes. What the town is doing now to demand answers from the landlord.
Also, scammers are pretending to be Eversource workers to trick people out of their money. We'll tell you more about the claims they make so you can be aware.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, begins with a weather watch alert.
All the bitter cold arriving just in time for the weekend. Yay. Good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us at 6. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you. Yeah, we've said it before. We'll say it again. Grab your hats, your jacket, gloves. Make sure those kids are bundled up, headed out to the bus stop this morning as we get over to meteorologist Matt Scott. Good morning, sir.
I got to tell you, yes, it is cold. Let's just put that out there. But it's actually not as bad this morning as, say, yesterday.
Yep.
And not as bad as what we'll get over the next couple of days. The cold is here. That hasn't changed. We're not looking for any relief. But what we're focusing on in the short term are some spotty snow showers developing, and it will turn windy. Now that will turn the low temperatures even lower. And Saturday morning, Sunday morning as well. This is a long-term concern. Bitter cold, sub-zero wind chills. That's dangerous stuff. This is more nuisance, or I got to tell you, it's actually going to be kind of pretty if you're in place. We have just a little bit of snow coming in. It looks impressive, but the bulk of the energy is down to the south. We're not looking for anything more than maybe an inch. Higher elevations may see a little more. That's manageable. 25 right now in Hartford, 28 in New Haven and Groton. Look at the winds out of the north, 8 miles an hour. So the real feels. Remember yesterday, they were in the single digits for a good chunk of the state. The lowest we have on the board right now, 13 in Torrington, 14 in Waterbury. So that's better. Take a look at the school bus forecast, 27 degrees with some snow showers later on. I don't want to be a school superintendent. This one's a toughie. Do you get the kids out earlier because it's snow and the roads may be a little slick? Possibly. Is it a lot of snow to do that for? Not really. So check your phones. Of course, if there's any early dismissals, we'll put them on the bottom of the screen later on throughout the afternoon. But right now, it's a toss-up. Rachel Piscatelli. I'm sorry. Wait.
It's me.
Sorry.
Mario.
My apologies. Do that again. Because your mic wasn't on. Say it again. It's me. Go on.
It's me, Mario.
Thank you very much. I apologize. Symphony Privet is doing traffic this morning, and we say good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Matt. If you're getting ready to head out the door in the next couple of minutes, here's what you need to know before you head out. It's been a pretty smooth commute so far on this Friday. We are incident-free. A couple of construction zones are starting to wrap up out there, so make sure you look out for those workers. Drive safely. Taking a quick look at the Hartford drive times. Smooth sailing on 91, 84, and Route 2. Checking out I-84 through downtown Hartford now, where we are seeing the traffic volume pick up out there, and down in New Haven, seeing our usual minor slowdown reported on 95 South heading to Bridgeport. Traffic moving at 46 miles per hour as we wrap with a live look in New Haven. We'll have another update for you coming up at 6:30.
Symphony, thanks so much. Dozens of people waking up in hotels this morning because their apartments in East Hartford are cold and condemned.
Yeah, they said they haven't had heat all week, and that they reached out to the town for help because the landlord wasn't doing much of anything. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is live now outside that complex. Brooke, the tenants, I guess, did the right thing here in speaking up to the town, didn't they?
Yeah, they absolutely did. That was the right thing to do. As soon as those residents reached out to town officials, those town leaders ended up telling the landlord that they must have on the heat by 3 o'clock yesterday. But unfortunately, that time came and went and nothing ended up happening. So they ended up putting everybody in a hotel instead. Now, these people are probably not the only people that are dealing with this kind of thing this week. I'd say across Connecticut, there's a whole lot of other people that may be struggling with issues in their rented home with heat as well. But but leaders want all tenants to know that there is something that you can do. You're not alone. They know that you have rights as well. East Hartford leaders say that these 4 buildings behind me make up 62 units, and they're all running on the same HVAC system, which has not been working since Sunday. Tenants say they've been trying to get a hold of the landlord, who is a New Jersey-based company called Stratus Equities, and that has been since that first day, but they've not yet heard back. Yesterday, one of the tenants contacted the mayor's office, and East Hartford Mayor Connor Martin tells us the town has had issues with this management company in the past for various complaints about the 18 different buildings it owns in the town. Now town funds are being used to put the residents up in warm hotels. The landlord is expected to pay that back. Otherwise, the town could place a lien on those buildings. We have reached out to the management company for a statement on this, but not have heard back at this point. If you are renting a home or apartment that doesn't have heat, it's important to report it based on the state's tenants' rights. There's a lot you can do here. First, you should contact the landlord verbally or by mail to alert them of the situation. And then if that doesn't work, call 211 and ask for your town's code enforcement to go ahead and file an official complaint. And lastly, you can call the police, and they could arrest the landlord for not complying if they choose not to help you. There's a lot of different rules there. We can tell you a lot of them, but you also can go over to 211's website. A lot of that information is also on the Connecticut State page website, so there's just a lot of information, a lot of steps that you can take. But if you do end up trying to solve the problem yourself, maybe you put yourself up in a hotel or you buy the equipment to try to fix the situation, make sure you're keeping all of those receipts, because proof of purchase is a pretty big deal here. You are supposed to get reimbursed by your landlord, and if that all continues, he doesn't give you the money nor fixes the situation, that person could end up being taken to court. Live in East Hartford, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Brooke, thank you. We certainly appreciate it. 6:06, we have some breaking news that just came in. We found out that all of Western Connecticut State University in Danbury will be closed today. That's because of a water main break on the west side. So again, both campuses at Western Connecticut State University are closed.
A little bit of temperature can also create significant damage to your property. Of course, we're talking about the threat of frozen pipes. Experts recommend leaving a little bit of water running, allowing heated air to circulate in your cabinets. Leave the heat no lower than 55 degrees, and also closing your foundation vents. A local plumber also has this reminder about one of the most forgotten areas of your home.
Shut off the valve and then open up the outdoor portion. That's going to relieve any little bit of water that's left in there.
A reminder, the state's severe cold weather protocol is in effect through the weekend. Our shelters and warming centers are open. They're offering safe spaces for vulnerable people to avoid the chill. All of the shelter options can be found by going to the state's 211 website or by calling the 211 hotline. The United Way can help provide transportation to a warming shelter near you.
Eversource is warning customers this morning that scammers are using the cold weather to their advantage. The utility said imposters have been pretending to be Eversource representatives and then threatening to disconnect people's power unless that person makes an immediate payment in the form of a gift card, or in some cases, scammers are asking people for their financial information. So Eversource wants you all to know that its reps will never demand instant payment over the phone, and they will never require personal information in an unsolicited call. If you think you're being scammed over the phone, just hang up, report it, then check with Eversource to make sure everything's okay with your account. Jurors in the Michelle Troconis trial listened for hours yesterday to a forensics specialist as she reviewed DNA findings that were pulled from Jennifer Dulos' home in New Canaan. Most of that DNA was shown to be very likely connected to Jennifer. Some of it was linked to her estranged husband, Fotis. As of now, none of it that was collected was linked to Michelle Troconis herself. Much of the evidence presented, though, was focused on the garage at the Dulos' home there in New Canaan. That's where police believe Jennifer was attacked, leaving what prosecutors said were blood-like stains and her DNA behind. A forensics expert said investigators compared that DNA to swabs from Jennifer's toothbrush, as well as samples from her kids, from Fotis, the family nanny, and one of Fotis' workers.
Is at least 100 billion times more likely to occur if it originated from the source of the DNA profile from a swabbing of the electric toothbrush. The DNA profile from item 5S1 is at least 4.3 billion times more likely to occur if it originated from Fotis dulos.
More or less what they're saying is some of those DNA samples that were tied to Jennifer and Fotis, they believe were overwhelmingly likely to be from Jennifer and Fotis. Troconis is on trial. She's charged in part with conspiracy to commit murder in connection with Jennifer's disappearance and presumed death in 2019. For estate purposes, a judge declared Dulos legally dead last fall. So the trial is set to resume again today at 10 a.m. and you can get the latest on Fox 61 Plus, your phone, computer, or connected TV. You can even watch the testimony streaming live.
All right, if you live in Bridgeport and you are not registered to vote, you have to do it today if you want to vote in the new Democratic mayoral primary. It's happening on Tuesday. It's the court-ordered redo of the September race between John Gomes and Mayor Joe Ganim. A judge found evidence of potential absentee ballot fraud. More than 2,000 absentee ballots were issued for the new primary. At last check, only 400 of them have been returned. Now, state election officials are going to list the candidates on the presidential primary ballot later today. The primaries are taking place on April 2nd. Today's announcement is set for 10 a.m.